Greeting fellow programmers, this is part 2 of our Knight's Tour brute force approach. In the previous video we went over some theory and some logic, and in this video we will start coding the whole program basically. So what do we start with? Well, I usually start with the obvious things. In this case it would be declaring few variables like constant, integer, and I'll call it a row. And the reason why I'm doing it this way instead of hard coding 8 and 8 by 8 as the chessboard is that I can use a different size board. Like what if I wanted 5 by 5 or 10 by 10? It has to be a square, but well, it doesn't really have to, but this way you're more flexible. You can use different sizes for the boards, except I coded it in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be up here, and I will do private constant integer columns, and we'll start with 8, so the classic 8 by 8. I will also hard code do a constant for a character that will represent the grid symbol, and let's say the grid will be just that. This is important because remember we have to be checking whether some spaces are still available, so we can check against is the spot where you are trying to move equal to grid symbol. Is it this? And if it is, it's available. But if it's not, if it's, for example, the next one, which is the character, I'll call it move symbol equals X, this will represent the positions that were already taken. So I can simply check whether it is X or whether it is the pound sign to determine whether the square is available. Now I will do well, if you remember the moves, let me solve this one. The starting position of the horse changes after each move. We randomly determine where on the chessboard the horse starts, but after each move, that move becomes the new start position, and we need to capture that in order to determine whether we can move from that position to another one, whether there is still some possible moves, or if it's like if we're going to move outside of the board or only the positions that were already taken. So I will do private, and I'm gonna do everything static. I'll do it all in the program rather than creating any classes or anything. This is simply logic rather than like a object-oriented programming or anything like that. Actually, it's not character, it's gonna be an integer where on the board we are. That's basically what starting position is. Where are we on the board currently? And it equals new integer of 2. And 2, because remember we have two coordinates. We have array 1 and array 2. Basically it will have the first number and the second corresponding number. That's gonna give us the coordinates, so start position will have two numbers in it. The next one we can do another array, and we can do this one read only, just so I don't accidentally override it later or something, and I'll call it possible moves X, and this is going to be the array of the first numbers, and then there will be possible moves Y. Well, it doesn't really have to be X and Y, but it's easier for me to kind of grasp the X and Y coordinates rather than calling it something else. So I'll call it just X and Y, but basically I'm going to create these two arrays, array 1 and array 2, with the possible moves. So for the x, I will declare it as what was it, -1, 1, -2, 2, 1, -1, 2, and -2. I don't even want it this way. And wait a minute. It's an array like that. New integer array, and these are the integers. And private static read only integer array. That's why it's not doing it, because I forgot to put the array symbol there. And this is gonna be possible moves y, and it's gonna be the other numbers, which were 2, 2, 1, 1, -2, -2, -1, and -1. Let me just quickly move it over and check it. -1, 1, 2, 2, 1, -1. And this is supposed to be -2 actually. I think I made a mistake there. -2 and -2. 2, 2, 1, 1. Let me check the numbers again. So you know, this was actually correct. Yeah, these are the moves. So -1 and 2 corresponds together. Well, 1 and 2, -2 and 1, and so forth. So in other words, index 0 in the possible move x corresponds with index 0 of possible moves y. So these are the 8 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is correct now. Okay, so let me just put some spaces there so it's more readable. And same here. Okay, so what's next? Next, I'm going to create a variable, private static, and it's gonna be an integer, and I'll call it h move. Basically, this is gonna be the horizontal move and vertical move, the actual move we are performing at the moment. These are the moves that we will be comparing with the moves in the arrays. And we can capture some statistics like private static integer. I'll call it round moves. Basically, this will determine how many moves we were able to make. So that's 64 possible. Did we make all 64? Did we make less? So this will hold the number. And I will do, in case we don't, let's say we run 1,000 rounds and neither of them will end up in finishing the whole game or doing all 64 moves, I will simply store the best moves, like how many moves was I able to do at the most in that particular loop for that many rounds. So these are my variables, and in the next video we will start coding the functions and methods to perform the actual logic. So stick around and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.